Hey guys, it's Claire's and happy Saturday. Welcome to another video. We are going to use the exact same thing that we did or the painting that I did from Thursday, and hope you guys really like that. And I am going to build on this for today. So today we are going to do some negative florals. And what do I mean by negative florals? By negative florals, I mean florals that are loose and have a lot of white space and just have a couple of strokes and colorful strokes that indicate it is a floral or give the impression that it's a floral. So hope you're excited for this. For my brushes, I am going to be using my mop brush because it is amazing for loose florals. And I am also going to be using the Filbert number 4, which I have used also for these right here. And then we are also going to add in the number 4 silver black velvet for leaves and such like that. So hope you guys are ready and let's begin. So for colors, I'll be using my St. Petersburg White Nights, the yellow ochre, indigo, green, and the sepia. So I'm just going to keep those handy on the side along with my paper towel. And guys, if you're wondering about the kind of products I'm using or looking for the links, if you would like to purchase them, you can find all of it in the description of this video below. So feel free to look at that there. And yeah, let's begin. So first things first, I am going to make sure that my mop brush is nice and damp. But you see how it is quite thick looking at the edges. That's because it's holding a lot of water right now. And if I do this, you can see exactly how much water it's holding. Look at that. So for those of you who've asked me, how come the tip of your brush doesn't look pointed like mine? That's usually because maybe you're holding this much water, which is probably what you don't want. So if I take off a lot of the water, you will see now that we have a nice pointed edge. All right, so there was a little tip right there. Let's begin. So I am going to get some of my let's see, indigo to begin with, and I'm going to just get the color directly from here, and I'm just going to mix it. I know I got some purple on there, but it's okay because I don't mind it. The purple and the indigo kind of look nice in my opinion, so all right, perfect. I got that color. Now I'm just going to go ahead and add a couple of strokes. And I know I always say I'm adding a couple of strokes. I'm adding a couple of strokes. Here's what I mean by that. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. So I want to have a bloom that looks like it is. We're going to leave a lot of white space in the center. We're going to have a lot of strokes around the side to kind of indicate the bloom is upward. So hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to do one right here at the bottom, and let's just make it looking off to the side this way, I guess. So I'm going to add my outer strokes. So I'm creating my outer strokes first. So there we go, one stroke. And then I'm going to add like these bigger strokes here in the center. But I'm also going to switch out for my Filbert at this point, and with just water on it, I'm just going to add the exact same strokes that we've been adding here, because I want the water to kind of mix in with this stroke, this new stroke that I've suddenly added. And then so now this is like really pointing this way at this point. So I'm just adding a couple of more strokes to the end, to the edge here, so that it really looks like that nice cup. And then we're going to go to the other side of it. So I'm going to add a couple of strokes on the other end that kind of like circle around the floral, if that makes any sense, and we're making it loose. And again, take the Filbert, just using your water on it, and you can just add, like touch as you're creating these strokes, like comma strokes. Just make sure you're touching some of the color and you're just giving it some very loose, like comma strokes using your Filbert. It's almost like a hint. And now I'm going to add some wider strokes at the bottom here. And you might or might not be able to see it. I'm just going to take a little bit of the blue. I'm touching a little bit of that center, not touching too much of the pink here. I'm also leaving white space because now I'm going to go in with the mop brush and taking, you know, it already has some of that blue on there. So I'm just going to add the loose stroke to it, pressing down my brush. It's got very little color, but I want it to be very loose and very, like I want the color to just blend in with the water that we've already added in, right? So that's what I'm doing. So now I'm going back in with the Filbert, just water on it. I'm just adding a couple of strokes of water onto this area where we've added the blue, pushing the blue down to this area where it touches the big bloom. And I'm just adding a couple more strokes to kind of fan out. So we got some nice dark to light happening. And then there we go. We literally have our floral, guys. If you can see, without these two florals, you can see how it looks. Now you can leave it as is, or you can kind of go in and add a couple of strokes of color to kind of make it look a little more full. I'm just going to leave it at that. And that's it. So there's our very, very loose floral. So we've got 3. I'll just do one more so you guys can see how this works if you didn't catch what I was trying to do here. All right, so because we have our 3 big blooms, I'm going to try and make this next one or next few of these slightly smaller. Let's see if I can accomplish that using the mop brush. And I am going to make sure you can see my colors again. So here we are. Let's just mix some colors. I'm going to use some of the yellow ochre. And I'll just keep it in this area where we had that Mars brown. I don't mind it. And I'm going to mix in some of that sepia that we have. Because maybe this can be like a nice darker hue floral or florals compared to the rest. So that's what I have here. It's like a dark brown, yellowy color. So I'm going to do a couple of these. Let's see. So same idea. Let's do some happening over here on this end, and we'll leave a little bit of space so you can see what's happening. All right, so I'm going to get some color, and again, just like we have done this one, we started off with the center, the little cup area. So we're just going to do that. So just a stroke like that. I'm going to get a little more, add another stroke here. Then I'm going to go in and get my Filbert, and with just water on it, I'm just adding a couple of strokes here. Maybe even get a tiny bit of that color because clearly it needs a little bit of help. And then I'm going to maybe just like help it along by adding a couple of strokes to the edges. And then using the Filbert to kind of like bring it down. Then I'm just going to use the Filbert itself and just add a little more color to the bottom and then push the strokes upward. So if you can't see it in this video right here, it's literally what we did with the blue. I'm just doing strokes from the down, like starting from down, going up. And then I'm adding a little bit of color in the water so that it like seeps in and gives you that nice blend. All right, and then I'm just going to use this to kind of create a couple of strokes for the back or the top. And then just kind of pushing any additional color around so it looks okay. Leaving that white space in the center and just kind of adding a couple of strokes to kind of close it up so this floral looks nice and pretty. There we go. So our pretty floral is done. I know I said lots of white space. If you want, you can absolutely go in, get, using your number 4, get some of that pink, maybe even add like a couple of strokes of pink here and there in this, and only in the areas that are still damp, of course. So then you have that nice, cute little blend happening. Or not, you can absolutely leave it open-ended like that. It's really a preference in what you want to do. So I just added some of that pink because I thought it like adds something nice to the whole image. And yeah, so there we go. And I am going to do one more and then we can go on to our leaves. So I'll just do one peeking out over there. I think that should be good. And again, I need a little bit more of the color, so just going to get that onto the side. And this one might be a lot darker than this, but that's how dark it looks right now. But let's just see. I can also use it for some leaves and stuff like that, so I'm not entirely worried. So I'm going to start off with the Filbert this time. So use the techniques that I've shown you in the last video as well. So like I'm going to use the Filbert first this time and just add a couple of strokes. And then I'm going to go in and just add my little strokes, dipping the tip of this brush in water. I'm just going to add a couple of more strokes in here. And then just going back in with the Filbert, I'm going to add more of these curvy strokes. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys, what I mean by curvy strokes. You're literally just switching the brush back and forth, trying to get your blend, trying to keep making sure that you still have a lot of white space. And so it really is helpful to kind of see where your color is going and just kind of help it move around, just like I'm trying to do that right here, right now. There we go. And so I think I will just leave it at that. So you have like that nice pretty bloom happening. You've got all these blooms happening, and that's perfect. And now we can use the leftover color and create leaves. I know I have some green, so I'm going to use the green as well. And let's do leaves. So for that, I'm using my number 4. And I already have the sepia on here. I'm going to get some green. And this is turning out to be quite the nice abstract looking set of florals. So I hope you guys are liking this, especially because this is not so much focusing on getting things perfect, but mainly kind of focusing on getting loose and getting some nice shapes and colors in there. So I'm going to start some leaves off here. And then having another stem here, starting my leaves from outside in. If you guys are new to my channel and don't know how to do leaves, please do check out my my watercolor beginners series that I had started in Jan and is still available. It's a series of 4 videos. So check that out and you'll see exactly how the leaves kind of flow and originate, or at least it's my technique. So I'm using the number 1 mop brush to just add a couple of strokes with very tiny bit of water. And my reason for that is because I want these leaves now to look kind of ghostly almost, or dreamlike, not ghostly. I think dreamlike is a better word. And then I'm just going in and adding some strokes to kind of add more of that nice flare, like you can see we're getting here. Then let's just go over here and we can add some leaves on this end as well. Actually, let me just close this one. See, when you add leaves, like darker leaves in an area where it's mainly water, you get that nice cute blend. So don't forget about doing stuff like that. So in fact, you know what? I'm going to do that over here. You're going to see me get a little bit of green, and I'm just going to add 1 stroke here, and you can see that slight bit of green. I'm going to add another stroke here, and then I'm going to go in and add smaller leaves, but with a darker hue. And you can see how pretty that looks. Maybe even just like have one flow this way. That's the beauty of this style of painting. Like, it's loose, it's like so therapeutic because it's so satisfying to kind of do and then just watch something evolve out of nothing. And that's why I love doing this. I'm going to leave that as is over there, and we're going to kind of move on to this area here. And now I'm going to try and get, just to make things interesting, I'm going to get a little bit of that yellowy color and do that instead right here. Maybe even add a little bit of hint happening here in these leaves here. Just to kind of have that uniform look. So I'm doing a leaf right here, and I'm adding some water to the tip of my brush, adding another leaf here, pushing the color down to the stem. I'm gonna get a little more green. Where am I green at? Oh, it's right here. And then I am going to add a stroke here and a leaf directly over this yellow that we have put in there. And look at that nice, beautiful blend it gives us. I love it. And then I'm just going to extend this here and then maybe just like have it trail off into like little linear lines. Just do like a bigger leaf extending here, because it can just be like a couple of leaves bunched together and you're not quite seeing how that kind of pans out. So we're going less on definition and detail and more on the looseness here. And finally, we can do some over here, peeking out even from the center of these. So if I just go darker in my color and just add a couple of strokes, very loose. So it doesn't look like we got all that. We have the leaves only on the outer edge, but we got some happening on the inner areas too. So I'm going to do some over here. And getting some color directly from here. Just going to add that 1 stroke. Maybe I'll just leave that one as is. I like that there's space between the stem and the florals as well. I like that. So leaving that as is. This is what it looks like. I kind of like how this has turned out. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you guys think. I want to know if you guys have tried it out. Send me your images on Facebook or Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, like my handle is Hello Clarice G. And if you have any questions at all about what I've shown you, please feel free to ask. If not, I will be seeing you guys on Sunday for our Sunday Live, which happens at 2 p.m. EST on YouTube. So hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks so much for joining. And like I mentioned, if you're looking for any of the products, please do check the description below. And as always, thank you for your support. If you've liked this video, please do share or follow me and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Bye.